Okay, we're live now.
Thanks. And we are getting just a little bit of echo from the room right now.
Okay, I'll ride the mute button then, starting now.
Thanks. Welcome everybody to Credit. It looks like Baha is up first. Baha, are you ready?
I am.
Okay.
Hello. I will share my screen now. Can you see my screen? I can't hear you. Yes?
Yes.
Right? Okay, great. Today I'm going to talk about the Wiki Labels extension. It's this one, and so right now we have the Wiki Labels service that runs the backend and the front end of it, which is a labeling service for MediaWiki. This service has a gadget code in it and the backend code that gadget talks to. And what I'm doing with the extension is I'm extracting the gadget code so that it's not a gadget anymore and it's an extension. So currently you need to have this JavaScript code in your globals.js file to load the gadget, and the gadget looks like something like this, where you can see campaigns and you can, so you can mark some texts as valid, invalid, or good faith, bad faith, and other types of markings you can do. What the extension does is it enables itself as a beta feature here. As you can see, Wiki Labels, once it's enabled, it runs under special column Wiki Labels, and it's the same thing as the gadget, but it's an extension now. The code hasn't been merged to production yet, but it has been reviewed multiple times, and thanks for reviewers. And there are many more things to do, such as moving all the gadget code to the extension and making the extension standalone and not depend on the gadget at all or the backend service at all, except for sending data and receiving some responses from the backend. So this was my little side project. It has been my project for a long time, and it's coming to an end finally. I'm excited to see it, moving forward. So that's my presentation.
Okay, thanks, Baha. And it looks like some people are having a hard time joining the Hangout. We might be hitting some kind of limit. So once you're done doing your demo, you may want to leave the Hangout. Baha, in your case, I think you're first. Thanks. Okay, Danny, I think you're up next.
Hi, how y'all doing? That's exactly how I thought you were doing. What I'm going to talk about right now is numerical sorting, which was on the community wishlist survey. It was number 5 for the year. So this was a thing that a lot of people really wanted, although the interesting thing is, now that I'm telling people about it, I can't get them to be interested. No, I'm just kidding. So the problem with numerical sorting was that previously it would sort.
One second, Danny. Danny, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
We're getting some feedback on the Wikimedia Office channel that the audio is broken. I can hear you, but apparently others cannot at the moment.
It's very quiet to me.
It's probably just a little quiet. Let me boost the level at him.
Is there anything I can do?
I'm monitoring the YouTube stream and it sounds fine to me, but I'll boost the level a little bit.
Sorry about that, Danny.
That's okay. Are we cool to go?
It seems like people are saying it's very quiet present on the YouTube stream. Matt Flashman says you can hear it now, so maybe we can try again.
Hello. Testing. How's this? Matt. Hello, Matt. We're good?
Yep. Yep.
All right, I'll continue. So the problem with numerical sorting is that the old default collation was treating numbers as if they were letters, was sort of alphabetizing them. So it would say, like, for example, like 1 and then 10 and then 100 and then 2. So for example, like 101 Dalmatians would be higher in the list than 24. That is silly and doesn't work. So what we found was another collation script, UCA collation, that we could use. And we ran that script first on a test wiki and then on Swedish Wikipedia. And it worked there, and it worked in less than a day. We just ran it on English Wikipedia last week. We thought it was going to take about a day, and in fact, it took either 7 or 8 days. So that was a long time. But now, hooray, it is now actually treating numbers like numbers. So here in Wikipedia in English language films, we've got, the 9th life of Louis Drax, and then 10 film, 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is, if you're into categories, really exciting. So there are some other languages that were already using UCA collation, French and Russian and Polish and Portuguese. There's about 10 languages in the top 25 that don't have this yet. And so now that we've done English and kind of gotten that out of the way, we need to have some conversations with folks on like German and Spanish and Korean and some of the other big languages to see how they want to use this. And there's one weird thing that came up that we're going to see if we can fix, which is hyphenated surnames. It was something that really we hadn't thought very much about before this. What's happening right now with the new collation is that it's counting a hyphen as higher than a comma. So for example, in category living people, Jackie Joyner Kersey, which is sorted as Joyner Kersey, comma, Jackie, comes up higher than Al Joyner, which is sorted as Joyner, comma, Al. And so we're figuring out if there's either something we can do with the collation or an adjustment that we can make to the default sort script. We are going to see how that goes. But it's nice to have, at least for English, at least like another thing checked off on the wishlist survey. That is it for me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Danny. Okay, it looks like BD808 is up. Brian?
Awesome. So I'm going to show off an application that we got released into production about, just about 2 weeks ago now. It's called toolsadmin.wikimedia.org, or the internal code name for it when I was building it is Striker. And this is basically a new web application to help tool labs, tool maintainers get things done. The name Striker comes from a blacksmith striker who's an assistant that helps blacksmiths build their tools. So it's got several features on the roadmap, but the main thing for the initial launch is that it allows tool developers to create new diffusion repos. Diffusion is the Git repository hosting system that is built into Fabricator. And we'll log in here as a demo user and show that you can go over to an existing tool that you're a maintainer of and hit this shiny button that says create new repository, pick a name for your repository, hit the create button, and wait. Oh, wow, live demos work. So we've now created a new repository on Fabricator, and we can go over and see that it's actually live now. So we would be able to now publish the source code for our tool pretty easily and share it with others. Got a lot of things coming up on the roadmap to add more features to this over the next couple of quarters. The next major thing that I'm going to work on is making a nicer workflow for actually creating your initial tool labs user account, Wikitech user account. And yeah, excited to see this finally in production.
Cool. Thanks. Okay, Dimitri, you're up.
Hey, everyone see my screen here?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I'll just show something I mocked together. I'm going to go into the Android app, and I'm going to log into it. Oh, I am logged in under my WMF account. That's good. I'm going to go to this sandbox page that I have. Where is it? There we go. I want to make an edit to it. And I'm going to make an ungentlemanly edit. Okay. So made an edit, and now I'm going to leave the app. Close out of it. In fact, I'll just lock my phone screen here. Now I'm going to need a little bit of audience participation. I'm going to paste a link to that sandbox page in IRC in Office Chat. And I'm going to ask someone to revert that edit that I just made. Just anybody, the first person to do it will win. I just want to see what happens. Preferably someone who's logged in. Ah, Dan Gary is the winner. But what's this? I see a notification on my device that someone reverted my edit. And if I unlock the device, it's up there under my notifications. Someone reverted my edit on this sandbox page. And I have options to view the page or to go to the talk page of the user who reverted it. Basic native notifications. How about we try something else? I'm going to go to that page again. Make another edit. And can someone thank me for that edit? Thanks from Matt Flashin, thank you. Anyway, basic notifications. A couple of big caveats here. First of all, these are not push notifications. This is just the app polling the API and checking every X number of seconds for new notifications, but it's a step forward. I think to have true push notifications, we would need some major architectural requirements. I'm not sure. But I think this could potentially open up a new use case for the app, like where the app serves as a notification host on your device. Whether or not you want to browse articles using the app, like the view page could lead to the mobile web version of the page. It could just serve as notifications for you. Anyway, that's where I'm at. That's all I have.
Thanks, Dimitri. Okay, Stas, I think you're up.
Okay. Okay, so I'll be talking about some new thing that we are developing in Wikidata Query Service GUI, namely building graphs that are usable on Wiki from queries. So let's take a query that we can see. So how many musicians dies at a certain age? So we have this query that gives us the results, and now we want to build a graph. So we have this postal tool, and we can see that we can build graph like this. So we have all kinds of options here. When we got the graph that we like, we can get this a barely comprehensive text. So next, the interesting part, when we can go to the wiki, and we can just paste it inside the graph tag, and we don't even need to understand what this thing is. We just copy paste it, and we got a graph. So basically, we can generate graphs for wikis from anything. So for example, we can, let's say we want, instead of this, we want a graph of population of London. So we go London, and we want also with dates. So we want and we also want dates. So this is population and date. Let's see what we got. So we got some populations and dates. So now we can put a date here and population here, and we got some. So let's say we want it nicer here, and we can also choose. We have years here, and now if we do export, paste it here. And that's all you need to get this graph on Wiki. And this graph is driven by the data. So if somebody adds population figure for London in the past or in the future, it's automatically updated on your Wiki page. So that's basically all for this demo.
Excellent. Yuri.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to demo some other interesting things, this time related to Wikidata and maps. First, we have enabled Wikidata query service to get geoshapes. This map is actually, it's fully interactive. You can expand it. It shows France and Italy. But if you look at the source of this graph, you see that it basically just retrieves external data, geoshapes, for Wikidata ID 142 and Q38. Those are France and Italy. But sometimes you don't know what those IDs are, so you get a more interesting thing, something like that. This is the query that Stas kindly provided. It retrieves data from Wikidata about governors and their party affiliation. And if you look at it, all this is just a very long and complicated query from Wikidata that gets this data, and also some of the columns specify the color of the graph. Lastly, we this week launched Map Link Everywhere. So that same graph that you just saw previously, it's a link. It can be done as a link. Almost the same code. You basically just have map link here instead of map frame, and you do not need width and height. That was a mistake. And it creates a graph. This is available on all Wikipedias now. Not Wikipedias, WikiVoyage, Wiki, basically every Wiki project. And that concludes my demo for today.
Thanks, Jerry. Okay, Julian, cartographer for developers. And I think you're muted right now, Julian.
Yes.
Okay, I hear you.
Okay, so I hope you can see my screen right now. And on the same topic, cartographer, I wanted to show you the developer guide. So it's a work in progress, especially with the code examples, but there are some, I just added an example for creating a map frame, and soon I will add to create a map link. You also have the links to the API documentation, so you can just go to the JS generated documentation, and it should be quite well documented. And you also have some explanation on the Wikivoyage customization, and also the list of cartographer modules, so it will be easier for you to figure out what is what and what does what. As part of that, I wanted to first to show you what could look the cartographer for developers. So I'm gonna first take this piece of code. This is basically loading the cartographer box. And once you have the cartographer box, you have a constructor. You can pass a container. So here I'm getting body content. I'm removing everything inside and just putting a height of 400 pixels. I pass a center and a zoom. And I also have a parameter if I want to allow full screen mode or not. So as soon as I do that, I have a map, and I can open it in full screen mode and close it. It's that easy. And if I want to add a little data layer, I can pass a group name and then some GeoJSON. If I pass some GeoJSON, then I get a point on the map, and that's it. And this is not actually this is only creating for this map, and we have a patch. So within the constructor, you can pass data and the GeoJSON directly, and that's the actual best way to do this. I also wanted to show you some integration that I've done now that we have the JavaScript API that is usable. So here is a global script not on my WMF account, on an account that I created. Here you can see that it's loading some script for search, it's loading some script from commands, and for Wikidata. This is something that you can already add in your command.js file for those specific projects, or in global.js if you want it everywhere. And so what this does, so I'm going to show you an example of Wikipedia. And so here I'm on Wikipedia, and I'm going to use the recently added, it was added a couple of months ago, the near title keyword for search. And I can add, for example, San Francisco. And if I add San Francisco, you can see that it's going to represent those search results on the map above the list. And you can open it full screen, and you can zoom. The map is interactive. And you can, for example, see that this is Twitter, Electronic Frontiers Foundation, Alexa Internet. So, well, this is these are the search results. I can try something else. What am I gonna try? San Diego, maybe. And this is not really the San Diego that I was expecting. Oh, yes, it is. And so the same thing, little integration. So this is an example of how the API can be used by any developer to add integration pretty much on every project. I made another examples on comments. So if you go to comments, for example, the picture of the day, if I click on it, sometimes those pictures have a camera location. You can see that above the coordinates, it just added a little map. And again, you can like zoom out and look where this was taken. And if you click on the marker, you have the object location and the coordinates. And this is working for pretty much any media file right now. If I go to for example, I don't know, here, and you can see again, it's showing a little map above the coordinates. Same thing for Wikidata, little integration. Currently, I'm in Montpellier, and so if I go to Montpellier, there should be some coordinates. So it's a little hard to find where this. There it is. So if there is the coordinate location property, again, same thing. It takes the coordinates and adds a little map right above the coordinates. And so this is working for again any entity that will have the coordinate location property. So where is it? It's right here. So this is something that developers can start using. We might also just enable it in production if users want to, and if some people want to. But these are examples of using the JavaScript API directly to add maps on many wiki projects. I'm gonna end the demo with an example of a draft that I'm working on, and I'm gonna go to the San Francisco page, and we'd like to offer a replacement for GeoHack. Some people might not know what is GeoHack. Here on the San Francisco article, for example, you have in the top right corner the coordinates, and if you click on the coordinates, it will move you away from MediaWiki, and will send you to that GeoHack page. So this GeoHack page has a lot more details and also some global services. So from here you can retrieve the most common map services, and you can, for example, open I don't know, big maps and look what is on that service. This is not really mobile friendly, and yes, okay, I wanted to go there. So this is not really mobile friendly. This is how it looks on the Galaxy S5, for example, and it makes it a bit hard to use this service. Also, it's moving the users away from Wikipedia, which is not really enjoyable for the user experience. So I was working on a draft where if you open the map, you will have if you open the map, you will have a more details button, and once which is a toggle button. Once you click on that button, it opens a side pane. On the side pane, you can retrieve the latitude, longitude, and the URI, and as well as the global services. And this is actually a MediaWiki template that is rendered here. So again, this is still a draft, but for now, users would actually be able to edit that list pretty much the same way GeoHack was working, because it was a template as well. You have the link on the left column to that template. And so if you click on satellite, it will toggle the columns, which makes it a lot more mobile friendly. And so this is an example of the iPhone 5. And so on the iPhone 5, same thing, you would have more details on the bottom. And when you click on it, well, this page is a lot more usable than the other one. And last, on an iPad, same thing, it would render pretty much like this. So this is a very early draft. This is actually the very first draft, and I'm going to open a discussion on Fabricator, and soon I invite anybody who is interested to chime in and give their opinion and their feedback. So that's it. I hope you can check out this developer guide. I'm planning on improving the developer guide to enable more developers to play with maps, and I hope we can see more maps on Wiki projects soon. That's it. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, Andrew Otto.
Hey, cool, yeah. So I am going to be demoing something that's currently called Kasaki as part of a larger project we're calling Public Event Streams, which is meant to supersede and replace the backend RCM stream server, and also sort of like make it easier for different formats and types of streams of public events to be exposed to the internet. So RC Stream is cool, you guys all know it. It's based on a Redis pub sub backend, and is built specifically for the recent changes feed and MediaWiki type data. And also it uses an older version of Socket.io. So there's been some desire for a while to re-implement it using a newer version. But as part of the Event Bus project that the analytics team and the services team has been working on together to make it easier to publish types of streams of events, we'd also like to make it possible to make those events that can be made public possible for the internet at large to consume. We handle streams now using Kafka, which you guys can look up if you don't know too much about, rather than Redis. So Kasaki is just a Kafka consumer to Socket.io library. So it listens for incoming Socket.io connections and registers Kafka consumers, and then lets you subscribe to certain topics. This is still work in progress. We're trying to figure out exactly how this is going to work, but RC Stream supports some server-side based filtering. We want to support that as well. But we also want to be able to do more than that. So it's still pretty heavy work in progress. Lots of things are moving around, but I thought I'd give you guys a little demo real quick. I'll show real quick. So the demo, we don't have RC Stream and Kafka yet, but EventBus is producing a lot of similar type of events in much stricter schemas. So there's a MediaWiki event schemas repository that contains all of these. Some of them are deprecated, but the one that we'll be looking at right now is this one called MediaWiki Revision Create. And it's similar to RC Stream except for, recent changes, except for that it only has this particular topic with this schema will only have revision create events. So a lot of the fields will be familiar, Rev ID, et cetera, things like that. Performer here has information about the user that's making the change, things like this. And this is all being produced from MediaWiki via EventBus into Kafka now. So I'll be running just a Socket.io server that uses Kasaki. So this will listen on a certain point for Socket.io connections and create a new Kasaki instance, which will hook up that Socket.io instance to a Kafka consumer. And I have a few demos over here that I'll just show, so that I'll run here. So I've got that running here. So this one's pretty simple. I'm just going to consume a single message, just whatever latest message happens to be on the stream right now. So if I run that, you can see that it's subscribing to this topic, MediaWiki Revision Create. Offset -1 means start at the latest, at the end of the stream rather than earlier. And here I get a result. So this is a particular revision that was just made very recently on English Wikipedia, blah, blah, blah. You can see all this stuff. Pretty similar to RC Stream.
Hey, Andrew, could I pause
yes.
for just 1 second?
Yeah, please.
It looks like people would like it if you could increase the font size.
Sure.
If that's possible.
Sure. Yep. How's that looking? I'll do this here too. Is that better?
Just a moment while we wait for IRC feedback.
Yeah. Just about. I mean, I can make it bigger. I think it's probably because it's on my larger monitor that it's hard to see.
Okay. Okay, it looks like the crowd is satisfied.
Hi, I think I froze for a second.
We hear you now.
Is this better?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, so I just consumed a message. Many that you can see that, it conforms to that schema, the revision create schema. This was a Wikipedia administer page or something. Anyway, that's just the one that we consumed. This particular consume mode is a pool-based. It'll only consume one at a time. There's also a more streaming mode where you can register an on-message handler, and it will try to consume as fast as possible. So we'll just do that real quick. I think that's it. Here we're connecting. Actually, I'm not sure if I did that right. I lost my. Yeah, okay. So this should start. Yeah, okay. So now we're consuming a full stream of revision creates as they come in. So that's very similar to RC Stream as well. So next one we'll do is stream with filter. Now, RC Stream also had the ability to filter, but I think it only filtered, if I remember correctly, on wiki database name. I'll do something a little more complicated. This filtering feature is really sort of like we're not exactly sure what we'll keep, what we can actually scale server side, how complicated we can get, what it will look like. But for now, this is what it's doing. So here, after I subscribe to a topic at the end, I'm going to tell my particular Kasaki connection to filter for where database matches MediaWiki wiki, and where the page title matches this regex. So this regex is, my user pages. So we'll go ahead and set up that demo. So we're going to stream with filter. Cool. Yeah, we subscribed, we filtered. So now it's waiting to find records in RC Stream that actually match that. So real quick, I'll make an edit on just my user page. I'm going to save this real quick. Fingers crossed we actually get something in here. Fingers crossed we actually get something in here. Don't get just demo effect. I'm just going to try it again, because that definitely worked earlier. Real quick. Okay, I don't know what's going on there, but demo effect. So there we go. So we filtered for something that was MediaWiki wiki and on a regular expression where the page title matched this regular expression here. And again, that filtering that's very under discussion. We're not sure exactly how that's going to work. And then finally, this is a feature that RC Stream definitely does not have, which is starting from the past. Now, how far in the past we can go and what this interface will look like depends a lot on what we can keep in Kafka. Kafka is by default just a distributed log buffer, so it's not meant to contain records going off into to the far past. By default, we keep 7 days in a lot of our clusters. Depending on how we deploy this in production, we might keep a lot more time, a lot more history. Future versions of Kafka will also allow consumption based on timestamp, but that is not supported quite yet. So anyway, so this is similar to what I was doing before, except for instead of specifying just the topic name, which was that Ekiad MediaWiki revision create, I'm actually specifying that, and I'm specifying an offset that's in the past. Offset is a particular Kafka offset in the past. So it's very Kafka specific, but you see that in each of the events that I'm returning, I'm also returning the offset of the particular message. So this pushes offset management off the client side. So as long as you keep track of these offsets and you're not restarting at a time when this offset is no longer available, you can start from the past. So I believe that this offset, when I was writing this demo, was yesterday or last night or something. So if I instead now start streaming from this demo, starting from this offset, oh, in this demo, I'm also emitting a filter on Polish Wikipedia. So we'll just, yep, so I'm gonna run this demo. And so this should start streaming from that offset, but also filter for Polish Wikipedia. So now we're starting to get a lot of records. I'll just stop there real quick and we can look and see that, yeah, what is this, 907.03, what is it right now? Yeah, so this is many hours ago that I'm consuming from. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, and when Kafka actually supports and we figure out how we're going to do timestamp-based consumption, ideally be able to specify something like this type of timestamp in the past of like when this revision was created. The real ideal would be to like somehow be able to store the entire history of changes and be able to start streaming from any time in the past, but we're not sure when or if we will even be able to actually support that. Yeah, that's it.
Nice. Okay, Eric, I think you're up next.
Yeah, awesome. Let me screen share. Hopefully that's coming across. MediaWiki completion demo. So one thing we've been working on with the completion suggester, which is that thing in the top right-hand corner of most wikis, is being able to complete from other parts of the page title. So historically, this has always been a prefix search. You have to start typing from the very first part of the page title, and then you only find things. So like right now, I have issues. You can see the normal one that's currently deployed. You only find issue tracker. But we have two different ones we're working on. We're not sure which one we're going to use. Subpage only splits on the slashes. Subphrase actually lets you search from any word that's within within the page title. This is something that we'll be deploying not everywhere, but specifically to wikis that have particularly long titles or ones that heavily use subpages. The reason for that is mostly resource-based. We're using something like 70 gigs of cluster memory to support what it is now, and that would go up to 280 gigs if we were to support this everywhere, and that's just not something that we currently have the resources for. But we'll be seeing this on things like MediaWiki.org, on Wikitech, on probably on the wiki source, and maybe a few other places we'll have to evaluate. But you can see from various examples, there are things like if you were to search voting on MediaWiki.org, currently you'd get nothing. With this, you find some subpages. Other things like if you were to search for XSS, similarly, the normal one in the subpage, you're only going to find the raw XSS page. But with subphrase, you'll also get completes for pages that just have XSS in the title, like DOM-based XSS or preventing XSS attacks through CSS whitelisting. That's really all there is to it. We're still working on the scoring for this, for which things are going to be at the top and which things are going to be in what order. But yeah, that's basically the demo. It's just we're working on increasing the recall dramatically for some wikis for the completion, for the autocomplete suggester on the top right of all the wikis.
Thanks. Okay. If you'd like to post questions for people who did demos, there is an Etherpad available. The name of the pad is Credit, CREDIT, and that's in uppercase. People are also available on the Wikimedia Office IRC channel. Thanks, everybody. Those were awesome demos. And I think that's it. We'll give it a few seconds in case anybody wants to chime in, but I think we are probably done. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, Adam.
Bye. Bye.